Let's take a look at how we can set up Excel to do our grading and let Excel do all the work for us. First of all, I've entered some student names, set up the exams and the projects the way the grades are calculated. I've typed in 0.25 for 25% of the grade for exam, 0.1 for 10% for the first project, 25% for exam 2, etc. And what I want to do is highlight the range B1 to F1, and I'm going to go format these cells to be displayed as a percentage. This with 0 decimals, which will basically show what weight each exam is. Now the first thing I want to do is to go into our average column. I'm going to begin the formula by typing equal, and then I'm going to point with the arrow keys. I'm going to hit the left arrow key and the up arrow to come up with 30%, times, I'm going to hit the asterisk, left arrow, plus, left, up, times, left, plus, left, up, times, left, plus, left, up, times, left, plus, left, whatever many lefts there are there, and up, times the rest of the lefts here to get to exam 1. Basically, I could have typed in this formula. It's F1, 30%, times F3, as you can see the color codes, plus E1 times E3, that's 10%, times the grade that's in project 2. And I'm going to press enter. And that will be our average. Now, I need to edit this formula because F1 needs to be locked down. So I'm going to put $signs in front of F1. Matter of fact, all of the percentages need to be locked down. So I'm going to go to E1 as well and put $signs there. And I'm going to go to D1 and put $signs there. And I'm going to lock down C1 and B1. All I did is put a $sign in front of the column letter and the row number. As you can see, it's the exact same formula with $signs on it. The reason we do that is it locks it down so that when I copy that average formula that's in cell G3, it will stay there. It will not change as I copy it down. But those without $signs will be relative. So as I copy Laura's average formula down to Demetrius's average formula, it will stay on F1, but F3 will change to F4. Let me demonstrate. You go to G3 and put your mouse pointer in the bottom right corner. If you're on the edge, you get a hand. This will move the formula. You don't want to do that. And if you're in the middle, you'll see a fat cross. That will also select, do something that we don't want to do. What we want to do is get the bottom right corner and get the thin cross. And this allows us to copy down. So I'm going to mash in the mouse button and simply drag it down to copy the formula. Now if we inspect this formula, you'll see that it locked down on row 1. Actually, to be frank, I didn't have to put the $sign on the column letters. In this particular case, all I needed it needed the $signs in front of row 1 because we were simply copying down. But instead of trying to think through that, you can see that each cell is now locked down. I created the formula for the entire class for each student. Now, one other thing that we might want to do is type in equal if. We're going to use the if function to check the average and see if it's greater than or equal to 90 or 89.5, because I round up. If it is, they'll deserve an A in the course. Otherwise, I want it to check and see if G3 is greater than or equal to 79.5. If that is the case, then they would get a B in the course. Otherwise, I would want to check and see if G3 was greater than or equal to 69.5. And if that's the case, they would get a C in the course. Otherwise, I want to check and see if G3 is greater than or equal to 59.5, in which case they would get a D in the course. Otherwise, they would get an F in the course. You'd close all of these open parentheses. And that's the formula. You could just type that formula and copy it in and adjust it to your spreadsheet. But if I press enter here, you can see the student would have an F. Now I need to go to the bottom right corner to get that thin cross. I'm going to drag it down. And now we have everybody's grade automatically calculated, the letter grade as well. Now to finish out, it's simply a matter of typing in our scores. Let's say our first exam we had a 90 and a 95 and a 98 and a 74, 63, 100, 89, 74, 65, and a 22. Now let's go through our projects, and let's say this project was a 100. We had all 100s, let's say, on our project, except for this one has a 50. And let's just assume that we ended up with a 0 on the project for this one. As you can see, as we type in the exam scores and the project scores, our average is being calculated. Now, that's not their average to date, that's the average for the entire semester. So it's basically 32.5 out of 35 for Laura Billingsley. But we don't care because we just want the final average. So now let's say the next test was an 85 and a 90, 100, a 78, and 69, and 54, 96, 98, 82, 71. And let's say that our project grades were very similar, except we had a couple of people that made a 50. And then finally we'll plug in our numbers for our final exam, which in this case, let's say everybody did really well. We had 99s and 100s all the way down the line. Everybody studied hard to try to pull up their grades. And as you can see, everyone's average was automatically calculated. If you would like to make this go to 1 decimal, you can use the fact cross to select your average, and then simply format the cells to number format and just make it to 1 decimal place. This would give you 93.8. And as you can see, all the 90s received A's. This 88 was a B. The 77.7 was a C. And notice the 58.3 didn't quite make it to an F. Now, if we want to adjust, maybe let's say that John turned in a project and got a 90 on it after the fact. Well, it would bring his grade up to a 67.3. Now, let's say he also worked on his last project and brought it up to 100. We'll allow you to redo those. He ended up with a C in the course. This is basically how you can use Excel to do the calculations for you in your grades. Hope this was helpful.